So Anthony from the Hot End YouTube channel, he's on my monitor back here, he tagged me to answer 6 questions that are associated with the hashtag 3D printing on YouTube. So I thought I'd do that. Now rather than ask myself the questions and then answer them, I thought I'd get a little help. So I've been able to get Rocco from Rocco's Modern Life, the famous cartoon character. I got him to ask me the questions and then I'll answer them. So, Rocco, take it away.
Okay, first question. What was the first thing you 3D printed?
That's a good question. And in fact, I've got my first couple prints. In fact, I've got all my prints. I save them in a bucket and I go through them from time to time. But this was actually the first thing I ever printed. It was the sample XYZ keychain. I opened the box and this was the sample print. I didn't hook up the computer or nothing. But I really don't consider this my first print. My first print, and the reason I bought a 3D printer in the first place, was this. It's a robot arm with 5 servos. And my idea was to use this with my electronics and create a robot arm. And that's really why I bought my 3D printer, because I was just going to make boxes and gadgets like that for my electronics. Well, this is what changed everything. There's a gear. This little gear goes on the front here to control the gripper, and it goes on the servo motor. I was so amazed that the Da Vinci printed this little gear. I never expected a 3D printer, this was like 2 years ago almost, to print something this small, this delicate. And it didn't have a hole in it. It was supposed to have a hole in it. So there was flaws in the print, but I was still blown away. And I probably spent the next 3 or 4 days just printing gears, trying different layer heights, different fill rates, trying adjusting the bed. I only had one type of plastic, the white, but eventually I ordered more plastic, and I printed more gears in different color plastics. I printed more gears than anything else because I was just blown away, and it just launched a whole series of 3D prints, trying to see what else I could do with the Da Vinci printer. Needless to say, I haven't done a whole lot with electronics since. It's been almost 2 years now, and I've hardly fooled with my electronics because I'm having so much fun 3D printing, and it all started because of that first print. I was just amazed. So that's the one that got it all started, the robot arm, and someday I'll do the electronics.
Name a popular 3D printer that you don't like.
A popular printer that I don't like. Well, I guess I'd have to say either MakerBot or Cube. Both of these are now owned by the big 3D printing companies, 3D Systems and Stratasys. And they own all the patents, or they did. And they, to me, should have brought so much more to the whole 3D printing world. But instead they saw us home printers as a threat. And so you had Cube over there trying to, make you use their cartridges, their overpriced cartridges, and it really wasn't that good of a printer. And Stratasys comes in and buys MakerBot and changes it from open source to closed source and just really messed everything up. So I don't think Cube is that popular, so that one doesn't qualify, but MakerBot was definitely popular. The early MakerBots, I still think they're cool. In fact, my Fabricator Mini is almost like a modern cupcake printer. It's about the same size. But the newer MakerBots, I don't know. I don't like them. I don't like the whole story behind them anymore. The thing is, I met Bree Pettis, who was the CEO. I met him long before I had a 3D printer. He used to do electronic videos online. And I met him at Maker Faire, the very first Maker Faire in Detroit. He was a super nice guy. We talked briefly. I'm sure he don't remember me, but we had a brief conversation. It was really nice. And I thought he was a decent guy. I still think he's a decent guy. I know he gets a lot of bashing for the way the whole MakerBot thing unfolded, but those original guys who created the MakerBot, who helped, they didn't start the home 3D print thing, but they definitely pushed it along a lot farther. So I have respect for them and what they did, but now I just don't respect the MakerBot. So guess that's it.
Name a popular 3D printer that everyone hates but you love.
What printer that everyone hates that I love? Well, I don't know if everyone hates it, but I think it's pretty obvious. The Da Vinci's. I've had a love-hate relationship with these things, and especially the company. I don't like all the hooks and stuff they put in the firmware and the software to shut your machine down because of illegal cartridge. Like there's a law on what filament you can use. But what I don't tell everybody is that off camera, I shut these things off when I film. Off camera, these things are running about 20 hours a day pumping out 3D prints. Early on, I designed some stuff, and a friend of mine tried to sell them and actually sold them. And so we made an arrangement that I would print stuff and they would sell it. And the quality of the prints that we're doing, these things are fine and they're reliable. I got over 2,000 hours on my first Da Vinci over here. So I still like them, and I still buy a lot of cartridges. We still use the cartridge plastic because we actually tried other plastics and we just didn't get the results that we liked. The plastic in a Da Vinci cartridge is still pretty good. That's why I now use the leftover filament on my Fabricator Mini. But I'm not saying they're the best printer, but they were the best printer for me to get started with. And back when I bought them, $499 for what you got, that was a hell of a deal. But now, I don't know. This has spoiled me. I want an experimental printer. I want one that I can do really good quality prints, while these guys are like a factory and crank stuff out. And the one I reflashed, after I reflashed it because of the whole cartridge deal, he wants me to print on that, the jobs that I converted to that, because he likes the quality better. So now converting that one to an E3D V6 throws a whole wrench in the deal. So that's why I've hesitated on doing it, and I really haven't said anything. But yeah, so the Da Vinci is one I really like.
What is your must-have 3D printing gadget?
Must-have 3D gadget. I would say that's my finishing tool. That's this guy right here. I've showed this on previous videos. It's designed to finish metal or plastic, and it's got this pivoting head and it's got a blade, but it's not too sharp. So if you're carving something with an X-Acto knife, I've cut myself doing that. This thing you can't cut yourself, and it works great. If I take Yoda here, I got the base that has some flash on it. I just take the tool, drag it across, takes it right off. So I use this tool all the time. In fact, I have them for sale on my website. I've sold quite a few of them. There's a lot of different brands out there, but this one is actually from a tool supply company. It's very sturdy, very reliable, and you can get replacement blades for it. So that's why I like it. So that is my tool, my gadget for 3D printing that I must have. This is great.
What is the best 3D printing software?
Best free or low-cost software for 3D printing. That one's easy. Tinkercad. Yeah, there's Simplify 3D and Repetier and all that, but Tinkercad, I use it all the time, and it's so easy to use, and it's the only software I've ever found where you can learn it right within the software. They've got tutorials that show you, drag a block here, drag a cone here, and you make an object. And you do that all within the software. You don't have to read a manual. You don't have to watch a video. You can do it right within the software. So I learned that software really quickly, and I do a lot with it. If you watched my videos, I use it all the time. And that company was going to go under. The guys who created it, I think they worked on a donation model. And about the time I discovered them, they were going to shut down, and they did. They shut down their business. So Tinkercad was going to go away. And an Autodesk, the big software company, came in and scooped them up, and it continues today because of Autodesk, and they kept it free, and they've even improved it. So that alone, I will forever be thankful to Autodesk. And they've got a lot of other great software, 123D, and I don't know if Mesh Mixer is theirs, but there's a lot of great software out there, and Autodesk has a lot of it. But Tinkercad, by far, that's my favorite 3D creation software, and to me it is the best free software for anyone getting started with 3D printing.
What is your best 3D printing tip?
Best 3D printing tip. And there's been a lot of good ones mentioned by everyone else. The bed leveling and keeping your tips clean, and I don't know, there's a whole bunch of them out there. But you know what my best tip is? The same thing I learned with the gear. Just print something. Don't worry about it. Just print something, and then print something else, and then print something else. Go on Thingiverse, find something, download it, print it. Go on Tinkercad, make something, print it. Just print, 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 print. And then you'll learn. You'll learn what works, what doesn't work. You'll learn about your machine, because everybody's printer is different. Even from the same company, you're gonna have to learn how to set up your machine, tweak it, learn its weaknesses, learn its strengths. The only way you learn that is to print something over and over and over. And don't be afraid to print the same thing over and over again, because each time you'll learn a little bit. Different layer heights, different fill, different retraction, I mean, there's so many things you can adjust. Try them all. It's fun. You start it, you print it, you come back, you analyze it, you print something else. That's the best tip I can give you. Just print something and keep printing and have fun. Okay, so now I have to tag somebody. I'm going to actually tag two. There's two channels. They're smaller channels right now. I'm sure they're going to grow, but they've been followers of my channel for a long time. So I'd like to hear their opinions. One of them is Stephen Q. He always ends his videos, like, comment, subscribe. I've been Steve. You know, if you've seen it, you know who I'm talking about. I'd love to hear his answers. And he's had a DaVinci, and he actually converted it to E3D V6. So if you guys are looking for that, he's got some videos on that. And also, there's a young man that I met actually at Maker Faire in Detroit. His name he goes by the name Jimmy Lupa Lupa. That's not his real name, but his channel is Jimmy Lupa Lupa. He's been a follower for a long time, so he's got an interesting channel. I think he's gotten some inspiration from mine, so it's really cool to see. So Jimmy Lupa Lupa, you too. You've been tagged. So that's it.
That's all for now. Thanks for watching. See you next time.